University of York. This is the Research Room.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Research Room with me, Lucy Ather.
And me, Janine Healy.
And today I'm very excited because this is a trial that I work on at the moment. But we've got the team from the Restart PD trial. We have Chief Investigator, Professor Rory O'Connor, and we've got Barri Morgan-Jones with us. Welcome to the Research Room.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. So just to start us off, could you introduce yourselves for our listeners?
Sure. I'm Rory O'Connor. I'm the Charterhouse Professor of Rehabilitation Medicine at the University of Leeds and lead clinician for NHS Rehabilitation Services in the city as well.
Fantastic. And Barri?
So I'm the National Manager at Strolll. So my role at the company is to oversee sales into the NHS and support clinical trials such as this one.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to talk about Restart PD. So usually we start with the long name of the trial because Restart PD is the short name, isn't it? So could you tell us what the full title of the trial is?
So Restart PD stands for Rehabilitation Exercise Study with Therapeutic Augmented Reality Treatment for Patients with Parkinson's Disease. And this is a randomised controlled trial of the Strolll technology.
Fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, it's quite a long name, isn't it?
It's a long name.
We prefer Restart PD.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we like short.
More snappy, isn't it?
And this is the point where we sort of rate it and describe it. And
well, we usually rate it, but we've been told that we give the same rating to everyone. We've had some
it's either
feedback,
a 7 or an 8.
and apparently we give everyone 8s.
Oh, 7s.
So we
When
might
you
be
say
retiring
rating,
that.
Do you mean the title or do you mean the actual project?
Just the title.
The little
The title.
short name, the
Right.
acronym, we usually rate it because, for example, yours is like, it doesn't have the right letters for the word, does it?
No, it's one of these silly abbreviations which kind of picks convenient letters through some of the longer words.
Yeah.
But actually, Restart is what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a good word for it.
Yeah,
isn't
it is actually.
People come to us and they can't move, and then they have treatment and they can move.
Yeah.
They've restarted.
Yeah.
So it's a good word,
That is a
and
good word.
and you know,
And we'd probably end up giving it an 8.
yeah, we probably would. So but
So are we officially retiring our ratings of the trial names?
I think so, don't you? We can just say whether we think it's good. It's a bit pointless rating it.
But the PD is for Parkinson's disease. Isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's good. Yeah.
Although most people just say Parkinson's.
Yeah.
What have you, out of interest, rated other project titles as? Do you give people like 1s and 2s?
Oh, we've
No,
never been
never.
that mean.
Because people are sat opposite us.
Yeah.
And you go, I came up with that name. Oh, right, okay.
Better give you an extra
8.
point then. Yeah, I think the lowest we've gone is maybe a 5.
Yeah, I think we were meaner at the
That was
beginning.
me. Yeah.
We definitely were meaner at the beginning. As we've gone along, we've just
got nicer. Now everyone gets an 8.
Yeah.
I put a grant in once and it was called Spectre
Oh.
around the time the Bond film came out.
Oh, right.
And I was so wishing we got the money for that.
Oh,
Yeah, that would have been
That's
great.
quite
I
a
know.
cool one.
I know, and I could have come along to see this and gone, I work for Spectre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
That would have been
good.
good. Well, you can keep that name for future projects.
Mm,
Or maybe wait for the next Bond film, see what that is.
yeah, structured Parkinson's.
We can make it work.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, can you describe your project?
So this is about working with people who are living with Parkinson's and helping them to move better using augmented reality headsets,
Yeah.
where people see a series of exercises that are designed to improve how people do things that they need to do day to day.
Yeah. So augmented reality then, could you tell us a bit more about that? Because it's different to virtual reality, isn't it?
So I think the biggest difference with augmented reality and virtual reality, if I explain virtual reality, they're both the projections of the reality, but within a virtual world, the person is encapsulated in that world.
Yeah.
So once they put the headset on, that's all they can see. So they're blinded from their own reality. They can just see, the actual projection and the images. And with that, I think, especially from a patient perspective, it has its disadvantages, as in, because the patient can't see their own reality, it can put them at risk of falls.
Yeah, because if you can't see and you're moving around and you can't see, bits of furniture or anything, you could start walking into things. And,
And although I do work at Strolll, I do have a clinical background. I was working for the NHS for over 25 years. So I started as an occupational therapist. So if I was working with patients and with virtual reality, generally, patients do one thing really well.
Yeah.
They fall over a lot.
Right.
That's why they're in rehab.
Yeah.
So to give them a virtual reality kit, you're potentially putting them at further risk of falls.
Right. Yeah.
It does also cause nauseousness as well.
Oh, right. Yeah, like motion sickness.
Motion sickness. So those are the two kind of main differences between virtual reality and augmented reality. So virtual reality has its place in the sort of the rehab world, but they tend to be more seated based for safety. But I think the difference between augmented reality is, yes, it's still the virtual world, but because it's a pair of glasses, the patient can still see the real world.
Yeah, so it's like an extra layer on top of what you can already see around you. So, you'd still see your living room.
Correct.
But there'd just be extra little things in your living room that you can see. Yeah.
Yeah. And because it's mixed and the other person can see their own reality, you don't get the motion sickness.
Yeah, which is very important because you don't want people feeling dizzy and falling over.
Yeah, correct.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think from my perspective, clinically, it's a better version because it's safer. And it's more interactive, I think, because if you're seated based, you're kind of restricted. I think, again, it has its place, but for a patient to have an opportunity to fully recover or get a better level of function, you need to move around.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, sort of increasing, sort of arm strength. You want to work on the core strength as well.
Yeah.
And you get that from walking and doing sort of functional exercises.
Yeah. And so it's physiotherapy using the augmented reality, and it's like games, isn't it?
Yeah. So what we've done is we've taken what a physio or an occupational therapist does in a gym with a patient. So lower limb exercises or upper limb exercises. Standard, they're the ones that you see on a sheet of paper that have been photocopied, 1,000 times. And the patient looks at it, doesn't fully see it. Yeah. We've taken those exercises and taken those big movements and we've converted those movements into games.
Yeah.
So we have 5 games as part of the software package. So those games reflect the movements that a therapist would do in a gym with a patient.
Yeah. And they play those games at home.
Well, there's for the study. Yes, they do play the games at home, but they can also do them in their beds as well, or on their beds in a hospital setting.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or they can do it in the physio gym as well.
Yeah,
so there's lots of. It's very flexible in terms of how the patient uses it.
Yeah, and you've got, because I'm lucky enough to have played.
You've played, I haven't, have I?
And they're fun. You've got Mole Patrol is my favourite. And that's when it's like whack-a-mole. You've got to walk over and stand on some moles. And then the basketball one. I like that one. But it does get you moving, doesn't it? And I suppose it kind of, you're doing the same movements that you would be doing in kind of more traditional physiotherapy.
Yeah, I think, rehab in the nicest way possible is boring.
Yes, it is,
very
isn't
monotonous. To ask somebody to do, a rehab program by themselves at home.
Yeah.
It's a big ask, and clinically, I guess, as I said, I've been there where you give patients a set of exercises, right? Go home, go back to your bed, you use a gym, do your exercise in your own time. And full well the minute that they've left you, they're not going to do it. So it's not so that in terms of Strolll solution, it's not just the glasses. It's also the big element of the solution is the web portal. So the therapist would build a program, give it to the patient via the glasses, but the therapist can remotely monitor via the dashboard.
Oh, I see. So they can see what they've been doing.
Correct. Yeah. So there's more accountability for the patient because they know, I've been watched now, by my physio.
Yeah.
So it's extra incentive, and then so you get the adherence of the patient to the program. Are they turning it on? And secondly, the therapist gets the performance of the patient doing the rehab program. So it means less contact.
Yeah.
So it's rather than the patient having to come back into clinic because they're traveling from their home into hospital, there's less travel time, which means that the patient stays at home for longer, but the therapist can remotely rebuild the program.
Yeah, and they can change the program, can't they, to make
Correct.
it more difficult or
Easier.
easier. They
Yeah,
can
yeah.
adjust the level
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
So where did the idea come from of using the augmented reality?
Good question. It's not a traditional comes from a lab or like a research project that a PhD student has done. It's come from a real need. Tom Finn, our co-founder, his dad has Parkinson's, and that's where it comes from, really. So Tom took his dad to his outpatient physio appointment. Tom hadn't seen his dad walk for 2 years. So on this particular occasion, the physio got him walking in the gym with something that's quite traditional, quite common in the gym is called cueing. And for those of you who don't know what cueing is, that's basically it's red lines on the floor.
Right. Okay.
Red tape lines where, especially with people with Parkinson's, it's really helpful for people that have got fascination or freezing of gait, where they have difficulty with patterns of sort of initiating movements.
Right.
So patients sort of plant their foot on the red lines on the floor. Helps people with Parkinson's walk. Tom was overwhelmed by seeing his dad walk for the first time, nearly 2 years. Went home, and thought, this can't be right. How did my dad walk, just because of some red lines on the floor?
Yeah.
So literally, tested it at home in the kitchen, put loads of TheraBand, loads of just bands all over the floor, all right, Dad, try it again. Show me.
Yeah.
And he did it. He's off. He's walking.
Wow.
So from that, the idea came from there, where it's like, well, what if my dad had, red lines all the time?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So through sort of friends of friends, built a proof of concept, using augmented reality, where it's the projection of these red lines, so that they could follow his dad everywhere he went.
So when he's wearing the glasses, he would see those on spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea comes from.
Yeah. So that's cueing then. Is that like a thing that you would use a lot for Parkinson's rehab?
Yeah. So I think Parkinson's is probably different to a lot of other neurological conditions where we offer rehabilitation. In that there are these structured techniques that we can use because you're tapping into deeper parts of the brain which are still working and they're intact. But unfortunately, the Parkinson's masks those abilities. And you can use cueing for pretty much any human movement. So we'll put those coloured stripes on the ground, and it's almost the opposite of that game you played as a child where you wouldn't step on the cracks. In the pavement.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want you to step on the cracks.
Yeah.
And it allows you to pace your walking.
Right.
And you can supplement it with other strategies as well. So sometimes I'll walk beside somebody in the gym and I'll just say quietly to them in their ear, big steps, as they're walking along. One of the other features of Parkinson's is your writing gets very small. And most of us in the team, I think pretty much everybody in the team knows somebody with Parkinson's, either a relative or a friend or a neighbour, because Parkinson's is just so common.
Yeah.
And I noticed my aunt was getting Parkinson's when she sent a Christmas card to us about 10 years ago. And she started writing our address on the envelope. And you could see the first few letters were the normal size and then just tailed off into a small line. And I said, Kitty's developing Parkinson's.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, crikey.
And that's the technical term for that is micrographia or small writing.
Right, okay.
But if you sit beside somebody when they're writing and you say big words, or you get the person to write the phrase big words before they write what they want to write, they will write using normal size letters for them.
Wow. So
how does that affect your brain? It has an effect on your brain. How does it do that? And does it sort of make your brain go to another neurological side or something?
We presume it taps into pathways which aren't affected by the Parkinson's.
Wow. It's like giving your brain a little nudge or sort of,
Yeah.
That's
Now,
what
it does eventually wear off after time. That's the
okay.
problem. So you need to keep coming up with different cues, different strategies.
Yeah.
And I think this is why using technology to deliver it is so useful because the glasses we're using, they predominantly focus on the images, but they can also produce sounds and they can also vibrate as well. So these are all different strategies that have been used in other techniques. This is the first time they've all been brought together.
Yeah.
And I like to think of the augmented reality as that head-up display you might have in a car, which shows you your speed or your GPS or whatever in front of you. And as Barry said, you can take your cues with you wherever you look.
Yeah.
You don't have to have things, because if say you want to get some cueing around the kitchen to go from the fridge to the sink to the cooker back to the fridge again, you just have this mishmash of lines which kind of negates the effects of cueing. Whereas if you've got the glasses on, you just then see the lines that are relevant for you at that moment. You can step out, make the journey you want to make, do what it is you need to do, and then walk back.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting that just little things can sort of make a really big difference, just like lines on the floor and little cues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, in terms of, is there a cure for Parkinson's? No.
Yeah.
But rehabilitation, we know, has a very, very positive impact on patients, sort of longevity and functional improvement. And patients who, do their rehabilitation daily, and I mean daily, they serve a better chance, opportunities for a better level of function. But we know patients don't do rehab daily. There's a band of patients that will do rehabilitation regardless, what equipment or kit you give them. But there's also a big group of patients that, don't engage with rehab. And also there's lots of patients, on waiting lists, also waiting for rehab that aren't engaging with rehab. So I think that's why the study is really important, just to bring that out in terms of what are the benefits of, of patients engaging with, daily rehabilitation using, technology.
And obviously, the idea came from cueing, and I think that's still a really core central part of what we do. But actually, as Barry said, it's expanded into even more. And whilst there isn't a cure, and I don't think there'll be a cure during my career, we've shown repeatedly that exercise is the only treatment that slows the progression of Parkinson's.
Right.
Because one thing that is never said about Parkinson's is that the drugs don't work.
Right. Okay.
All that they do is mask the symptoms.
Oh, really?
That's all they do. So people are really good at saying how important the drugs are, but actually that's all they do.
Right. They're not actually, curing it. They're not making you better.
Absolutely, definitely not curing it. There is no cure.
Right.
And like I said, I don't think there will be a cure.
But they're not helping you move more.
They ease some of the movements, but actually you've still got to move. If you take the tablets and sit in a chair, nothing will happen.
Right. Okay.
Because Parkinson's is you can get stuck in a movement, can't you?
Freezing is absolutely horrible. Yeah. And it's not just being stuck in a chair or whatever. Coming through a doorway, you'll get frozen as you're passing over the threshold.
Right. So you'll be trying to walk and you'll just stop and you just cannot move forward. That's one of the symptoms.
Or someone stops to ask you a question, or a dog barks, or a door slams, or whatever might happen. And then that stops your movement.
Right.
It's a weird thing to see. My mum had Lewy body dementia, so she had Parkinsonism, and it was really weird. Sometimes you could get out of the chair, and other times she just froze.
Frozen.
And she could, like, going over thresholds, she just stopped. And what's the matter with you? And I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
But that's just symptoms like Parkinson's. So I should think having Parkinson's is worse in a way.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the other advantage is being able to do your rehabilitation at home. You're in your own environment. So actually, if you're then doing the things that are important to you, they're more meaningful. So you're more likely to do them maybe than going to a gym and doing them, which is an abstract place to be. And you can do them as often as you like, as much as you like. And we know from earlier work we've done, people actually did more exercises than we asked them to do, which is great for them and for us doing research. But it takes rehabilitation out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think about the three big shifts that we've been talking about a lot in healthcare research over the last 12, 18 months. And we planned this into Restart without knowing that was going to come out. In fact, I don't think anyone knew that was going to come out.
Yeah.
So we're taking what you might term a legacy therapy and you're digitalizing it.
Yeah.
you're taking a therapy which would traditionally just be given in hospitals and allowing people to do it at home. And then you're, like I said, we can't necessarily cure Parkinson's, so we're not looking for treatment, but we're preventing it getting worse.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we're preventing some of the really serious things that happens when you're living with Parkinson's, which are falls.
Yeah.
And it's not just, to add to that, it's not just, people got Parkinson's. Okay, that's unfortunate. Here's your rehab program and hopefully do exercises. It's the potential other deteriorations that you might have, things like poor health, or poor diet, or lack of drinking enough water. It can lead to things like infections, so UTIs, sort of just poor health in general, chest infections.
Okay.
And those are the kind of issues that would result in a fall or bring the patient back into the hospital setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Rory will know more about this than me. From working in the NHS, patients that come into hospital, if you've got like a chest infection or UTI or whatever, you'll stay for X amount of days. Let's say 3 to 5 days. Antibiotics, go home. But if you're a person with Parkinson's and a UTI or a chest infection, your recovery just takes a lot longer. So you stay in a hospital setting for longer. You're off your feet, which means your mobility is reduced. So your long-term impact, of having a chest, another infection, can be really detrimental, for their lifestyle.
And then you're not doing you're not moving a lot if you're kind of stuck in bed. Yeah. And for people who might not know too much about Parkinson's, could you just tell us a bit more about the kind of symptoms and a bit more about Parkinson's and how common it is in the UK?
Yeah, so there are probably 150 or 200,000 people living with Parkinson's disease in the UK, which is that type of Parkinson's, which we don't really know why it comes on. There are a very small number of genetic conditions that lead to it, but most people, it just happens to them. There are another set of conditions which kind of come under the category of Parkinsonism, which might be associated with other conditions. And then there's a small number of people who have Parkinsonism because of a side effect of a medication, for instance, which is obviously really unfortunate. Right. So sometimes medications used to treat mental health conditions can lead to Parkinsonism.
Oh, really? Wow.
And then there's an increasing group of people that we're recognizing now, which probably we haven't, unfortunately, given enough attention to, are people who have small strokes in the brain, or what you might term cerebrovascular disease. And that can affect parts of the brain then which allow us to move in a natural or smooth way. And those types of Parkinson's are much more difficult to treat than the classical Parkinson's disease, which a lot of the medications are targeting in terms of movement. So people with those kinds of movement problems don't benefit from the medications.
Right.
Whereas I think these kinds of treatments that we're using in Restart could be a lot more beneficial.
Yeah, yeah.
So slowness of movement is probably the main feature of Parkinson's, and reduced velocity of movement. So people don't take as big a step as they would have normally. They don't move their arm in the same way.
Shuffling.
Absolutely. Shuffling is very characteristic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are a range of other elements as well. So about 10% of people who are living with Parkinson's will unfortunately develop dementia as well.
Oh, really? Wow.
So it's a really, really cruel condition.
Yeah.
But it is very, very individual. So if you've met one person with Parkinson's, you've met one person with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
And that's it. But one of the key features, and I think we've sort of alluded to it so far, is the freezing. And the freezing can just come on because you're in a gap between tablets, or it can just come on anyway. And I think one of the things we talked about people recovering from, say, a fall or an infection or something else that might happen, is that you might be in hospital, you might be at home recovering, and then the rehabilitation team come along at 10 a.m. for your scheduled rehabilitation session, and you're experiencing freezing, and no matter what anybody does or tries to do to help, you can't move.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets frustrated, especially you, and then you go away, and then half an hour later, the freezing episode is over, and you go, right, well, I need someone to help me move now.
Yeah.
And that can be just how things are for you at home, living like that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you take charge of your own rehabilitation in your own home, You can wait till the freezing episode passes
Yeah.
and then do your rehabilitations. You get double the benefit from it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a degenerative disease, I think you mentioned. So we don't have a cure, and it's sort of
It will progress and it will get worse, unfortunately. Yeah.
Do you get Parkinson's as you get older, or does anybody get Parkinson's?
Anybody can get Parkinson's at any age.
Yeah.
It is more common as we get older, probably because there are some degenerative processes happening in the brain that we don't fully understand. I mean, people will say there are these kinds of processes going on, but in reality, we're extrapolating a lot from mice.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah.
Not you, Rory, personally.
Not personally. Working
Just
with the mouse.
studying mice, isn't it? That's what you're saying, yeah.
Exactly.
In your own home.
And then, a lot of what we know or what we think we know about Parkinson's is based on post-mortem examinations of people
Oh,
who've
right, really?
died and donated their bodies to science or whatever.
Yeah.
So really, you're seeing people when whatever process has been going on is at the very, very end.
Right. Okay.
So it's a bit like taking a laptop there, whacking it about with a hammer,
Yeah.
opening it up and seeing if it works.
Yeah.
And going, oh, right, well, that's what makes the screen work or the keyboard work or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm.
So am I right in saying we don't really know what causes it?
No.
Ah, okay.
So therefore, we don't really know how to treat it.
Yeah, or cure it. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So could you tell us a bit about, I mean, I already know the answer to this because I work on the trial, but we'll obviously explain it anyway. So could you tell us how the project works?
I think I'm going to roll back a little bit and just go back to how it all started. So we've been using augmented reality in the University of Leeds for a long time, but for educational reasons.
Right.
So in the last century, when I was a medical student,
Yeah.
you went along and you followed senior doctors in the hospital and you went into clinics and operating theatres and you saw firsthand what was going on. There are now too many medical students for that to happen. It's
right.
probably not appropriate. And we have a whole series of infection control reasons as to why it's not, right for medical students to be wandering around inside hospitals. So you can now use augmented reality technology to give students a really good and probably a better experience than I had when I was a medical student. And one of my doctors in training was doing some educational work, and I ended up talking with her tutor. And she said that they have a small rehabilitation company who were interested in trying a trial, and would I be interested in talking to them? So that's how I ended up talking to Jordan.
I see.
But beforehand, I had a look at the website, which has that original video that Tom made of his father walking across his kitchen using the very first prototype. And instantly I said, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
I thought, this is exactly what we're waiting for in rehabilitation. So between us, we applied for some funding, some seed corn funding, and got money to buy the technology. And we got our ethics and our approvals and went through and started to collect information on 30 people who just used the technology. And as we were collecting the information and looking at the results that they were coming through, they were so successful. An IHR, Eye for Eye, Innovation for Invention, approached us and said, we really like your idea. Would you put it in for funding for a randomised
so they
controlled
came
trial?
to you.
They came to us.
Oh, wow.
Which is really nice. And obviously, we had to go through all the procedures, peer review.
Obviously.
We
have to say that.
We had to go down to Twickenham and be interviewed by 20 people on the panel, do our presentation, everything, it was just, they thought it was a really good idea, but they wanted us to go through the paces as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because there's a big divide, I think, in healthcare research that even though only 8% of the NHS budget is actually spent on medications every year, the vast majority of medical research goes on pharmaceuticals. And that then drives the biomedical research model. So if you want to have a technology or a device in clinical practice, you have to go down this drug route, basically, which doesn't really fit when you're talking about technology.
So you're almost treating it like it's a drug, but it's a device.
Absolutely. So we're sort of retrofitting technology studies into this biomedical model of pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Luckily, augmented reality for Parkinson's fits really well into that model Because when we talk about rehabilitation, we often talk about the dose of rehabilitation in the same way you might talk about the dose of medication. So we can say in our study, if people do 30 minutes of restart exercises every day for 5 days a week for 6 weeks, we hypothesize that their mobility will be better at the end of that. But more importantly, they'll maintain their mobility for the following 20 weeks when we do our final assessment of how people are moving.
It's obviously a really exciting intervention, but we don't really know if it works yet, which is why we need the randomised control trial. So we're randomly allocating people into one of the two groups. So half the group get the intervention with the headsets and half the group are doing the usual care. So could you tell us a bit more about what they get in each group?
So you've got the usual care group, which will be the standard type of physiotherapy exercises that's normally prescribed to patient, and that's usual care. And the other group, which will be the prescribed a pair of Strolll glasses, and it's a reduced version of usual care.
Yeah.
So they're still seeing the physiotherapist.
Correct, but not as often in terms of contacts. In terms of how many times the patient sees the physio, it's significantly less.
Yeah, because I guess the physiotherapist is still sort of managing their prescription.
Correct. Yeah, but they're doing it more remotely.
Yeah.
So the patient doesn't need to travel in, as much. So less travel for the patient into the hospital site to do the exercises.
Yeah. And so we're obviously doing some assessments because we need to be able to see how well the patients are doing, and then we'll compare how they're doing in each group to see whether this is effective. So what are we measuring? What kind of assessments do we do?
Well, the problem with Parkinson's is all about movement and balance. So we've chosen the best assessment of movement and balance, which is a test called the timed up and go, or the TUG for short. So basically we ask people to sit in a chair, walk forward 3 meters, walk around a little cone, come back and sit back down again.
Right, okay.
And most people should be able to do that in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
But for people with Parkinson's, it could be an impossible task. It could take 20, 30, 40, 50. We cut off at 60 seconds because actually, for all practical purposes, if you can't do it within a minute, it's not really, a useful movement for you to be able to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're timing how long it takes to do that.
And it's not just the walking, it's the standing up, it's the turning around, coming back, sitting back down again. So there are really key things that we need to do every day. You're sitting in your sitting room, you want a glass of water, you walk into the kitchen, get a glass of water, come back, sit down again. Hundreds of times a day, most of us think nothing of it, except when that ability is taken away.
Yeah.
That's what's called our primary outcome measure.
Yeah.
And again, going back to this biomedical research model, you've got to have a primary outcome measure.
Yeah. We always need those, don't we, in our trials?
But what's actually really important are some of the secondary measures. So we're asking people, how does their Parkinson's affect them? How is it affecting their quality of life? Because actually they're the really important things for people. Nobody comes in to see me in clinic and says, my TUG has gone up.
Yeah.
True.
They say, I've got some pain somewhere, or I'm feeling I'm slowing down, or I'm finding this more difficult.
Yeah.
And then we need to unpack that a little bit and pick on what's going on and then kind of think about what treatments might be needed.
Yeah. And we're measuring that before they sort of start the trial, at the beginning of the trial, and after 8 weeks, is it?
At 8 weeks, it's doing it again to see what the immediate effect of the treatment is, both for people in the usual care group and in the intervention group. And what's unique about this study is that we're looking at that longer point at 20 weeks after people have gone through the randomization process. Because something which has not been done before in any of the studies of any form of extended reality, which obviously includes augmented and virtual reality, is that nobody actually looks at duration of effect. Now, we've done a lot of studies of what you might term traditional rehabilitation, and we know that the effects, even in progressive conditions like Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis, can last between 3 and 6 months. We're hoping to see the same kind of duration of effect from Parkinson's. Traditionally, back when the NHS was in a better funded state, we were able to offer people 2 courses of physiotherapy a year if you were living with Parkinson's. That doesn't exist really anymore.
Right.
However, if we can supplement what is available with this extra technology, but add in this extra layer, like Barry was saying, I don't like to think about it as Big Brother. We're watching you do your exercises,
Yeah.
which I guess there's an element of that. But actually, we're in a more subtle way. We're seeing how you're getting on. And about 15 years ago, we did a study looking at robotics to help people who'd had a stroke improve their arm function. And again, it was home-based and it was using state-of-the-art technology at the time. So we'd ask people to take part in the study. They'd agree. We'd go out to their home. We'd bring them out a rehabilitation robot, and we'd set things up for them and let them get on with their exercises. And then 6 weeks later, we'd go out, pick up the robot, bring it back, and see how they got on. And there were a small number of people who had switched it on once or twice, and then for the rest of 6 weeks, they just sat there. And either they'd forgotten about it, or they didn't want to do it anymore, or it was too difficult. And we had no way of judging that. Whereas now with the Strolll technology, we can see immediately if people are having problems, and we can get in touch with them. And we can say, are you okay? Is everything all right? And it might be just they've got a cold, or they've been away for the weekend with friends and they just haven't been doing it. And that's obviously absolutely fine. But it might also be that, they might have forgotten something about it. And they might just need a small reminder or a little sort of nudge just to get back into the routine again. So that's actually really key to what we're doing here as well.
Yeah.
And if we could roll that out across all rehabilitation, that would actually make the whole system a whole lot more efficient and better for people.
You're saying you're doing it along months, the follow-ups. So you've got a short-term one, and then you're saying 22 weeks, did you say?
20 weeks.
20 weeks. That to us isn't a long-term follow-up. So we're used to things like 12 months and stuff like that. Why have you chosen 20 weeks? Why do you think that's a long follow-up?
Well, if I offer you some cubing therapy now, it'll have worn off within an hour. And the other thing about Parkinson's and people's Parkinson's changes, our patient public involvement member on our team, Matt, he's had Parkinson's for 50 years. And he managed it through a variety of different means. But sadly, I think people who get Parkinson's at an older age, the progression of the Parkinson's is a lot faster. So actually, even though there's this almost immediate loss of the effect of cueing after a single cueing session, we're hoping that there's an accumulative effect of the cueing benefits over the 6 weeks of the intervention for people who are in that. But then once you stop doing that, then the effect will tail off. But we don't know how fast that will be. So we want to capture that 20-week moment.
So you're saying it's not really a long-term fix, is it? So you'd have to continue to do this a lot longer.
In the same way that you need to keep taking the tablets.
Yes.
Yeah. So you wouldn't, if you were going to do, say, a 12-month follow-up, that wouldn't really make sense because you wouldn't expect the...
No, and if we were, sometimes I give the example of, if we're doing a trial of blood pressure tablets, at 6 weeks you wouldn't measure someone's blood pressure and say, blood pressure's gone back to normal again, you can stop the tablets.
Yeah.
Because obviously your blood pressure will go back up again.
Yeah.
And this is the same. It's not, don't get me wrong, this isn't a cure.
Yeah.
It adds into all the other treatments which are available. We think it's better because there are no side effects, which all other Parkinson's treatments do have side effects. You can do it in your own home. You don't have to travel. And if we think about where we are here in Yorkshire, there's lots of deprived communities. There's lots of communities where it's very difficult to get transport into the hospital rehabilitation department. Lots of people are in rural and coastal communities where we know healthcare is underprovided. And yet we know the numbers of people living with Parkinson's in those communities is very, very high. So this democratises rehabilitation.
Yeah,
I think just to add to that, I don't want to say the NHS is in crisis because we all know it is, but patients aren't getting access to rehab that they deserve, and that's not getting any better. A big part of my job, my role is I get to speak to lots of trusts, and I think one of the standpoints, the common sort of features is their waiting lists. For access to rehab, it's over a year.
Yeah, that's a
so if you got Parkinson's and you're in, whatever borough you live in, you have to wait 12 months, 52 weeks
Yeah.
to get your rehab.
Mm.
You know, that's not getting any better.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
with the glasses, it can be, you know, one of the solutions that I trust could, you know, support them in reducing their waiting list, and then allow patients to get access to, you know, the rehabilitation they deserve. And also, you know, it then helps physios then, you know, stratify who do they need to see first, because there'll be lots of patients that they can, you know, prescribe pair of glasses to. I can monitor in your background, go home, and I'll monitor you. But there's also a group of patients that they still need to have hands-on physio, but the physio doesn't know. All they see is a massive waiting list, you know, and they haven't got the time to sort of sift through all the patients.
Yeah.
So if they know there's a group of patients that I can set you up at home, great, I'll monitor in your background, then their time becomes more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they can bring in the patients that need, you know, more hands-on therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's enhancing, you know, a trust ability to give, you know, patients better access to rehab.
So I suppose for the trial purposes, it's trying to find out if this augmented reality does make a difference. And then if it does, then you can go to the people that make the decisions and say that this would be a good first start, wouldn't it, to get people to have rehabilitation quickly.
So when we were designing the study, we wanted this to be a single package so that we could go from that research question, does Strolll technology improve movement and balance in people living with Parkinson's? So we can have an answer that we can go to an NHS organisation, an NHS trust or hospital board, and we can say, look, we have this, it works.
Yeah.
So as part of the overall study, we're not just looking at the clinical effectiveness of the treatment, we're looking at the cost effectiveness of it as well, both in terms of the NHS use of resources, social care needs and so on. We're also looking at the implementation of it through a nested qualitative study.
Yeah.
So seeing how people living with Parkinson's, their family members, their carers, their supporters, and the NHS therapists who are helping to deliver the study find it and trying to come up with some of the difficulties there might be implementing it in the real world.
Yeah.
But all along, the study's been designed with advice from the National Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence. Nice. So everything we've done has been informed by a pre-evaluation of the study. So when the results come out at the end, be the clinical results, the implementation science and the health economics, it will all fit into the NICE model. So we can then hopefully, if things go the way we would like them to go, we'll be able to have that positive recommendation that we can go to NHS Trust with.
Yeah, no, that's really good, because I think that can be a big hurdle, really. Even if if you do get positive results, then you've got a big challenge of now we've got to try and implement this. But it sounds like you've done your best to get it sort of set up so you could implement it.
We tried to preempt
exactly
other issues which have we've seen before in other studies. How do you actually translate the results of a research study into real world practice? That isn't not just understood and used by NHS clinicians, but also by managers and commissioners as well.
Yeah.
If everybody can see this is the right thing to do, it improves people's outcomes and it saves money.
Yeah.
Then, we've got to the right place.
And the qualitative interviews are really important to talk to the participants about how they find it. If they like it, what they think. And talking to the staff as well about how they find it. Do they like it? Is it easy to use? Yeah, that's all really important.
Yeah, and you're partway through your project, aren't you now? So where are you and how's it going so far?
It's going well now.
Yeah.
We are about a third of the way through recruitment, which has just been fantastic. Everyone's been really very positive. Lots of people have been very enthusiastic about joining the study. Yeah. There have been delays in setting the study up. And unfortunately, between the official start date and when we were actually able to open the study to the first participants, the NHS went through a very difficult funding period, which meant that even though we had ring-fenced funding for research therapists in each of the sites, people weren't seeing that as money which should be spent on research. They were seeing it as just part of the money which just helps to fill the big black hole.
Ah, right.
So we had to persuade people very strongly that this is research, this is how the NHS improves, and we need to progress with the study.
Yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately, it wasn't the same problem across all our sites. Each had a unique variation of that problem, so we had to come up with a bespoke solution for each of the sites.
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge, but I think we're open now, we're recruiting now.
We are, yeah. It's going really fast, and actually we're recruiting people faster than we said we would, had we opened when we said we would last year.
Yeah, recruitment's taken off quite well, which is really positive, and all our sites are really enthusiastic and really going for it, which is great.
We bang on about this on these podcasts, but it's very important for research to have recruits on your study.
Definitely.
Otherwise, they can't run.
For the sites that we have on board, I'm not just saying it. We've got really good candidates in post. They're really, they're very talented. Working with technology, it can be quite daunting.
Yeah.
In terms of how to approach it, anxieties. Is it going to work? There's an element of risk, to it. But the physios that have been recruited, they are absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
They've gone into it, sort of both feet first, asked lots of questions, being very transparent in terms of expectations. It's like, for me personally, it's been a joy. So my role is to support the sites and getting set up, for them to, initiate the trial. And it has been a joy to be on site, do the training, and sort of watch, the physios sort of grasp it with two hands and run with it. It's been a joy to watch.
So obviously we're going along with recruitment, and we want to carry on with that. And then what's next for the project?
So this is just the start of using augmented reality in rehabilitation. If you can think of a health condition that would benefit from moving, this technology will help.
Oh, wow. So there could be loads of things.
So already we're looking at how it could be used potentially in multiple sclerosis, another progressive neurological condition. We've developed modules for using it for people who've experienced a stroke. But really, anywhere anybody needs to move, and principally I'm thinking here of musculoskeletal conditions like arthritis, for instance.
Yeah.
But also people who are preparing for surgery, for, say, hip replacement or a knee replacement.
Oh, right, yeah.
Shoulder replacement. People are just generally preparing themselves for surgery. This has a potential role to play.
Yeah.
It's quite a vast amount of things. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Potential, that's the word.
Yeah.
Think of the word then, thank you.
I mean, for the cost and the infrastructure involved in setting it up, the potential benefits. If an NHS trust invested in this technology and said, we're going to use this for people who are, say, recovering from illnesses or injuries, or we're going to help people prepare for treatments that they're about to receive, which might be quite onerous, then you could use it across the vast majority of people who are attending your services.
Yeah. So it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Taking over the world.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, I usually say, I'll be really excited to hear the results, but as I work on the project,
you'll find out first.
I'll find out first. So. But yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thank you for telling us all about it. I think we've got the hat now. We've got some random research questions for you that we'll pull out of this hat.
What advice would you give to someone starting a similar project?
I would suggest talking to as many people as possible to learn the mistakes that they've made.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because often I will talk to people. Now, it might be people like Tom, who came up with the technology in the first place, who think they've got a really good idea. And it might be a brilliant idea, but it might just not be deliverable in a research setting, or there might be a different question or a different application of the technology that you might see. But also talk to the research support service. So at a very early point, you can frame your question, frame who you think might benefit from whatever intervention it is that you come up with, and then talk to people who are actually going to deliver it in the real world.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are too many people coming up with ideas who are full-time university academics.
Yeah.
And they don't really understand what it's like to deliver things in the NHS
Yeah.
and the delays. But equally, there are plenty of people who come to us from businesses, and business moves very fast because you're dealing with investors and suppliers and other parts of the business world, and even how academia and the NHS move at sort of subglacial speed is very frustrating.
Definitely.
If you're trying to,
And I think technology is moving faster than the NHS can catch up with it. It's not even got.
Some trusts are still
electronics.
using fax machines.
Really?
Yeah. No, they've not even got.
Wow.
Yeah, they've no electronic patient records
No.
properly, and they don't join together. So,
No. Just to add to what Rory said, I absolutely agree. Yes, through my work, I've had the pleasure of working with lots of PhD students who have got an idea, got funding, and they're struggling to integrate their products into the NHS market. I've tried to be polite, about it, but leaning on my background with the NHS and now my role at Strolll, so selling to NHS.
Yeah.
There's lots of great ideas out there that research PhD students have got, which is brilliant. So my advice would be, if we were to do it again, or advice to sort of to research students, does it meet a need? Just because you've got a good idea means absolutely zero.
Yeah.
If the patient isn't going to engage with your product, forget it.
Yeah.
If a trust can't see, this is our need, that's a great product that will fit that gap.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
It needs to meet a need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, it's just not going to grow legs. I think for us, with Strolll, it does meet a need. And it wasn't born out of a lab. It was born from a real, genuine, need, literally from a kitchen floor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for not feedback, but if you're interested in doing research, I definitely speak to lots of patients. Just because you've got a good idea doesn't mean a lot. So speak to lots of patients. Engage with lots of trusts. Find out what their actual problems are.
Yeah, definitely.
And if it doesn't meet the need, then
it's not going to work.
Yeah, think again.
Yeah, no, it's really important that I think when we spoke in an earlier episode about research impact, they were sort of talking about the difference between push and pull. Like you might have a great idea, but you don't want to sort of be pushing that out. You want there to be a pull.
Oh yes, I remember that.
A need for it, really.
The need pulls your research.
Yeah. No, really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's like brag, at Strolll, but so we got 5 games as part of our software sort of solution, and all the designs, all the games that we have now are born out of workshops with patients, clinicians in the room.
Yeah.
So it really is patient centered.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's really important. Yeah. What's the most unexpected or surprising thing you've discovered so far in your research?
It's very mundane. It's just how long it has taken
to
get things set up.
Yeah.
You think you're trying to do something good, and everybody just has this sharp intake of breath and going, couldn't possibly do that. We want people to take a pair of glasses, go home with them, and walk around. The challenges that have been put in front of us.
Yeah.
And when I think of some of the things that, are involved in healthcare, putting people to sleep, opening them up, taking bits out, putting bits in, all the possible healthcare interventions that are out there, giving people toxic chemicals that make their hair fall out and the lining of their gut fall off. And all we want to do is help people to stand up, walk 3 meters and sit back down again.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just astounding.
Yeah.
How much resistance there has been to doing that.
Yeah.
I think I definitely agree with that. Setting up a site, as it's I wouldn't say it's resistance. An NHS trust, they are busy people, underfunded, understaffed. Have they got the right people at the right time to set up themselves as a trial site? No. So there's lots of gateways you've got to go through.
Yeah, lots of hoops to jump through.
Lots of hoops to jump through. And I think it's delayed it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, despite best efforts, you know, we've got an excellent, and we do have an excellent, you know, trials team, you know, with you guys.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
To her,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, being
You had to say that, really.
in terms of management on our side, it's been fantastic.
Mm.
But in terms of actually doing, you know, trials with technology, you know, actual equipment, I know it's a slight brag, but this is a world's first.
Yeah.
You know, there aren't many, you know, trials out there doing this.
Yeah.
So it's a nuance in that respect. So we're finding our feet.
Yeah.
You know, trust to finding their feet. And it's just, yeah, you're right. Rory, it's just the delay.
Yeah. Surprising how long it takes and the hurdles. And yeah. I think we find that quite a lot in research.
But I like
a long time.
Yeah, but I like the way he said, you know, we're getting people to put glasses on and walk a bit. It's the level at which the harms. It's not going to be a lot of harm, isn't it?
And it's funny. I was at a talk last week that our vice chancellor gave, and one of our aims for this forthcoming academic year is going to be to cut out zombie processes.
Oh right. Well, you like? I've got a few. I've got one.
So I've made a list.
Good.
If you could have any superpower to help with your research, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Oh,
that's a good one.
So I could be everywhere all the time.
You could pop up at different sites. You could pop up and check people were doing their rehab.
Exactly, yeah. And just go to all the meetings you got to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If only you had a web portal that you could use to manage your time.
Oh, there you go. What would you have, Barry?
Definitely, yeah, to be able to be in more than one place at the same time.
Yeah.
That would be super helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? I think we touched on it earlier. It's the setup of sites. It's taken a long time.
Yeah.
So if I had the superpower to literally, you know, eradicate all of that.
Yeah.
You know, like
all the sites. Oh, sorry, no.
No. As in, okay, so we engage with the site. Yes, we're interested. Okay, fine. Let's go through the governance setup to get you ready in terms of things like, reviewing hazard logs, DPIAs or data sharing agreements, for example. You know, all these things, they take time to be not built, but processed and read and approved at a trust level. So if I had a superpower that I could literally sort of click of a finger.
Yeah. Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Paperwork. Super paperwork.
Yeah.
Skills.
If we could do that, then that'd be great.
Yeah.
Then get sites up and running a lot quicker.
Yeah. Oh, I think we'd all love that in the trials unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Definitely. What's your favourite part of your research?
It's going down to gym on a morning and finding someone who's just started the study and they've had their first try of the technology and they are absolutely grinning ear to ear.
Oh.
And thinking, this is fantastic.
Yeah. Seeing the patients, really.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I reference, I was working for NHS for over 25 years. And I got invited to a workshop. There's patients in the room, clinicians in the room, Strolll team, developers in the room, and they were testing the software to build the assessment arm of it. And that's where I saw a patient wear the glasses for the first time.
Yeah.
And she was smiling.
Yeah.
And I know, being a clinician in working in rehab, it's boring, it's dull.
Yeah.
So I was like, why is she smiling? So I waited my turn, put the glasses on. I was like, okay. I got to see, the projected images. I could see where she's smiling, and I was hooked. From that point, I was quite happy as a director at NHS England at the time. But I said to Strolll, look, I want to join because clinically, this is the future. This is the right thing to do for patients. So now, just knowing that I'm involved in a process, in research, that eventually there'll be more patients that are going to have that same smiley face.
Yeah.
When they're engaging in rehab. So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. Rewarding. Sounds like. Yeah.
It's the patients that make a difference to the patients. That's
why we do it, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what it's all about. Yeah, the patients. Yeah.
I want to try these glasses.
Well, I'll get you a pair. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming in today and telling us all about the project. I mean, I've really enjoyed working on the project, so I'm a bit biased, but I think it's a great project.
You have to say that.
I do. Well, I do.
Well, I think it's a great project too, and I don't work on
Oh,
it. so.
good. And yeah, we're really excited, obviously, to finish the project and have some results. And then hopefully we'll get you back to tell us how the results
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about Restart 2.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. And then we'll put some information in the episode description so people can learn more about the study and look at website and things.
Yep,
Thanks for
thanks for
having us.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and follow The Research Room wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to leave us a review, that really helps other people find the podcast.
Does it?
It does, yeah.